Hello and welcome, beautiful scorpion shapes. I have a new video for you and it's more of like a tutorial because I got the question of how to improve your spins. You seem to kind of like slide, not really being able to like hold the shapes on the pole, and let me tell you, it's completely normal because you need to form a mind-body connection first so that you actually know where to put your feet, where to put your hands, where to put your butt, right? Because it's a lot of weight that's actually being pulled around the pole. One thing that is really, really important with spins or with pole dance in general is proper technique. Let me demonstrate that, and you can do this with me for sure, because if you have a proper technique and you are really pushing yourself away and you're pulling yourself in, it should be no problem to hold the shape, right? Because also here you are out. You have this opposition going on of pulling and pushing and putting yourself away from the pole so that you can actually hold these shapes. But what if now, for example, you don't really have the strength or you're not really paying attention to the technique as much? Well, you can try this with me. If you're, instead of here, you're trying to hold yourself right here, it's not working and you're sliding. Okay? So it's all about proper technique, proper form, pushing where you need to push, pulling where you need to push. So there's a little exercise that you can actually do, which is like the Reiko split. And we do not have to go into the full Reiko split, but you're holding yourself in like a very normal pole grip. And when you're here, and you're pulling away, it's actually really, really easy to hold yourself, right? You're not really sliding. It's very easy to just be here. So it's very easy to also just be here. So try it out. You can put both feet in here as well. So it's quite easy to hold yourself up, right? But now, let's try this while being here. So now all of a sudden you're starting to slide. You're starting to not being able to hold yourself, okay? So it's very important to actually have this drag away from the pole. That's what I mean with opposition, that you're not trying to like walk around the pole like that. You're very close to the pole. You do not have this pull, but that you actually want to, to feel that you're holding on to the pole. Does that make sense? To really have this feeling of like somebody's kind of pulling you away. Another thing is that you really want to have your feet close into the pole as well when you're walking, for example, when you're preparing yourself for a spin. Try everything out, how it feels. How does it feel to actually walk around here having this pull? It feels very nice. You have a good grip. You can already feel that you're getting momentum, that you're getting speed. So now try this while walking very close to the pole. Maybe even your feet are very far away from your pole. You're feeling like you're being like a sack of potatoes, kind of like walking around, right? You do not have speed, you do not have anything. So now when you try to turn, nothing is really happening. And you have it very, very hard to actually get into a shape because your pole is already so close to you that now you're struggling to actually get into climbing, for example, or get into fireman or chair spin. Yeah, when you're here and you're walking, and you're like, okay, now I should go into a chair. That's not really working. So really try this out. Feet close to the pole. You're pulling down as if you want to pull the pole into the floor. You're walking. Now you're pushing with the other hand away. You have a lot of space. You have a lot of momentum. And then you can go into a chair or fireman spin or whatever it is you need, basically. Okay? That's one thing. Proper technique, pulling yourself away, pulling the pole down and pushing yourself away. Now, it is also important to pay attention to the placement of your body, of your shoulders. What you want to pay attention to is that you're not being in like crooked lines, if that makes sense, okay? So I would suggest you record yourself, and maybe you can even draw lines around your hips, around your shoulders. Now, this doesn't work for every trick, obviously, but for a beginner, for like chair spin, it definitely works, because you want to make sure that you're not, really crooked and trying to hold on like that, but you want to try to have both shoulders on around the same height when you're here, right? So let's look from the back. Maybe you can see it better. If you want to hold yourself like that, first of all, you're prone to more injuries and it simply doesn't feel right. It doesn't really work. But if you want to hold yourself in like a more straight line, all of a sudden you have so much more strength to do so. Now, this is not the only thing that you want to pay attention to, so it's the straight lines that you want to have. Obviously, it doesn't work for every shape. Sometimes you just, but you get the point, I hope. You just want to pay attention to what lines, what it should look like and what it basically shouldn't look like. And then the other thing you want to also pay attention to is the positioning in the space around the pole. So if you want to, let's go for chair spin again. If you want to be in a chair spin, where are your shoulders? Where's your chest? Where are your hips facing? So a teacher of mine actually said, we should imagine it that we have some eyes right here in our hips, right? Where are the eyes looking? If you're trying to do chair spin, but your eyes are looking at the pole, it's not going to work, right? If you're doing chair spin and the eyes are looking against the pole or are even looking out of the pole, it just doesn't work. So become aware of where does my body need to look? How does it need to be positioned? For chair spin, for example, it wants to look straight out. Maybe a little bit in direction of the spinning, okay? So pay attention to that. Where does it look? Is it looking in? Well, then you're much more likely to actually fall into the pole. When you're here, you're just out, right? But as soon as you turn in, you're oh, I'm losing the push of my hand because it's strongest 90 degrees angle. And when you deviate from it, you actually do not really have the strength to hold you. So then, if you're turning in, you're ending up here, which you do not want, okay? So become very aware of the body positioning, of the technique that you're using, of the push and pull, of the opposition, letting yourself drag away from the pole, so that you can actually create more momentum, more turn with that, and also becoming aware of where your body is in space. Very important to film yourself here, really going through and maybe even comparing with the actual trick that you wanted to perform. Show it to people, you can show it to me, and then I can give you advice. But what I see a lot of times is that people are not far enough away from the pole. Again, as I said, you're trying to do a chair spin here. Doesn't work. I mean, if it's your style, right? If you're maybe going from a normal chair spin and you're here because you want to do, I don't know, whatever, that's a different thing. But first you want to learn the proper technique to then deviate from the technique, if that makes sense. So you want to be away from the pole. You want to create opposition so that you can create this pull. And you want to pay attention towards where your body needs to be. So there are tricks where your body needs to face the pole. There are tricks where your body needs to be at 45 degrees and 90 degrees, maybe even, away from the pole where it's facing away. So pay attention to how it's supposed to be done. If you find a trick that you want to replicate, you can also write down all of these little tricks. Where are the knees facing? Where is the, the eyes of our hips facing? Where are the shoulders facing? To really analyze it that way, and then go back and look at your own video, basically. All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this helped you. Let me know what kind of tricks helped you so that we can learn from each other, or if there's just something, if there's something that was eye-opening to you right now. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to comment, put all your thoughts under this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. This is really helping me to grow this channel and bring more videos like this to you. I would appreciate it like so much. Share this with all of your pole friends, and then I'll see you next time here on my channel. Bye bye.